I'm sorry, we got cut off. I clicked something on my phone. So this will be part 3 of helping people. But one of the ways you can weed this out is that, especially for people who say, oh, you're my best friend, or this or that, or, if it's a love situation, oh, I love you, and, this, we're going to have this, and we're going to have that, or, whatever it is. And let's say you got somebody coming around for money, and they're telling you these things. The way that you figure this out, if they're real or not, in what they say, is you stop providing the help. You tell them, no, I don't have the money to loan you today, or this or that, and you start cutting off the things that they're coming around for. Of course, I'm not saying that, you should let anybody starve or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying, but, just whatever the exchange is. So it could be money, or it could be like, I had a guy one time tell me, that if I were trading, this item, that he would come and fix all my stuff up. And I just absolutely knew that probably was not going to happen. And, or whatever. And so, of course, I, because of my intuition, I declined the thing. And, of course, the guy quit coming around or whatever. But cut off whatever it is that you are constantly pouring into them, so to speak, and see if they still come around. See if they keep the same relationship with you regardless. The ones that do, the ones that still come around and they still want to see you, hang out with you, or, whatever, those are the ones that are the real ones, Those are the ones that are the real friends. They're the ones that you could probably be okay helping out or whatever. But the minute that you cut the service off and you notice a change in their friendship or a change in their attitude towards you or whatever it is, that's how you know. That's how you know. And, and this can be for anything. It can be money or food or sex or, in some cases, substances. We'll just say that. I'm not supposed to say certain things on here, but substances, things like that. And so that's a surefire way to know, if you're pouring into somebody that's never going to pour into you back, that you're never going to be able to see them improve or advance or evolve because they're not making the steps to do it for themselves. That's a big thing, because once the help isn't helping, then it's no longer help. It's handout. And then you'll notice like manipulation tactics with those people will jump up and, they'll start coming out and you'll see their true colors. And if they're a real friend or a real person, those colors will shine through too. And if they're not, well, then you're going to see some colors you might not have expected to see, but once you recognize the pattern in people, then you'll completely, you'll be able to pick out these people pretty quick off the jump, and it makes it easier on you. It makes it easier on your burdens, on your energy, on your time, time, I'm probably going to talk about this eventually, but I'm just going to throw this out here real quick. Time doesn't really exist. People don't really understand that because existence has always existed. Humans can't wrap their mind around infinity. They can't. Humans have been so conditioned to limits that that's all they understand is limits. And a lot of the limits that people have are limits they place on themselves. The blockages that they have in their lives are blockages they place on themselves. And most of the time it is because of feeling obligated towards helping somebody or, having that, and feeling guilty about, not being able to be there for that person. But what you got to understand, with time is that before you came along, there was somebody else that was you. Or they figured it out a different way. Or, whatever it is. And that's something that you really got to take into consideration, So, by all means, help people, bless people, put your blessings out there. And, and the thing is the blessings will come back to you every time. Maybe not in the same form or from the same person, but I promise, that blessing that you put out there, there'll become a time whenever you're in a pinch or you're in a bind or you're in a spot and you just can't see any way out and suddenly a door will open for you or You know, like one time I was, I think I've talked about this before, but with my electricity, and suddenly, you know, at midnight that night, oh, there's another firefly. At midnight that night, there was a credit on my electric bill for like $20 that was going to last me like the next 10 days, you know? So you got to look at it, you got to look at it like that. And no matter what that you do, as long as you're moving in a way that is high vibrational, and it's not just because, you know, I always got a lot of slack from a couple of people back home talking about that I resented people because there's certain people I had banished from my house for reasons, and that I resented people because I wouldn't let them back in. Well, and then I was a bad light worker because I didn't love everybody. Okay, well, just being a light worker and helping people doesn't mean I have to love everybody. It doesn't mean you got to lay down and be a doormat for people, you know? It doesn't mean that you're obligated to, you know, do anything for anybody else. I mean, it just means I'm here to help raise people's vibrations and help them learn how to raise their own vibrations, you know, because nobody can raise your vibration but yourself. The only person who can help you at the end of the day is yourself. And that's a fact, you know? And so, but anyways, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to post these videos here. And so there's actually 3 videos to this part, but I'll put that in the titles. But anyways, I just want to thank all of you eavesdroppers out there who are subscribing, liking, and sharing. Please continue to do so. And thank you, eavesdroppers, for sitting there listening to me while I talk to myself in the dark.